Okay, so no, there's not a tint behind me today, but I did make a salad and I successfully got Zahara down for a nap. Okay, so I'm trying to be a little bit quiet, all right? She's been asleep for about maybe 45 minutes. It's 4:41. She wanted to go outside, but she'd been up since 6 a.m. She wanted to go swimming, but I was like, you need to go down for a nap because you are turned up, and I have a lot of stuff that I still have to get done. But yeah, that's not what this video is about. I wanted to update y'all since the last video on some really good news. I'm officially a social media manager, okay, for the podcast, A Starstruck Podcast. So yeah, the podcast is hosted by Carlos Knox, which is actually like a really good friend of my dad's. He actually was a former basketball player and he is currently one of the coaches at Notre Dame. Okay, so yeah, you guys can look him up. Okay, you guys can follow him on Instagram, check out his Instagram, check out all his platforms. Okay, and yeah, you guys can follow the A Starstruck Podcast everywhere. So I really wanted to tap y'all in on how I got this opportunity to become a social media manager, so you guys can kind of learn the gist of how you can get opportunities like this for yourself based off of just being on social media and putting yourself out there and really marketing yourself and building up your skill set in marketing and social media marketing, digital marketing, etc. So yeah, my dad reached out just one random day. I don't even remember what day it was. It was sometime last week, before 4th of July weekend. He basically reached out and was like, hey, I have this friend. He is the coach at Notre Dame, and he used to play basketball or whatever, and he has this podcast, has really great guest on the podcast. He's really serious about this. Yeah, he's really serious about this. He needs someone to help him to grow his podcast social media platforms and to manage them, because he doesn't have a lot of time because he's a coach, so he doesn't really have a lot of time to manage out and schedule his social media posts and get the ball rolling and up his frequency with his content for the podcast. And his main goal is to really just focus on the podcast within itself and connecting with the guests. Ooh, Zahara's in the background sleep. Strictly just focusing on creating the content for the podcast and not really trying to focus too much on having the marketing strategy behind it. So he was needing some more help with that because he's just not really, he knows social media, but he just needs somebody to help him kind of strategize, organize, schedule things out, etc. So the good thing about this was he already had an editor, so he already kind of automated. So he already had an editor for the podcast. He already had someone to edit, so he's already automated his editing for this. He really just needs somebody to do the other legwork, like captions, scheduling, all the social media stuff. This the social media managing 411. Okay, is that what I'm trying to say? 411, you know what I mean. So that is the part where I come in at. That's where I come in, managing, coming up with the strategies, scheduling the content out that he gets his editor to edit down for me to focus on the social media aspect. Now I will say, over the weekend for 4th of July, which I'm gonna get to in later, I did edit some of his content because his editor was out of the country. His editor was getting married. So, but his editor is A1 because he was still helping us edit for this last podcast that he recently just did, and the one episode that we're getting ready to hype up for the week. So his editor is lit for that, to be in the midst of getting married and still being dedicated to this project and the podcast. That's how he sees the vision. Okay, he sees the vision. First of all, I'm still trying to come to grasp how did I even get here. It's just so random and such a crazy opportunity. It literally fell in my lap, but literally I'm so grateful because this podcast is so inspiring. Y'all know I'm like so big on resilience and like to overcome setbacks, to keep going, okay, keep chugging and chugging, okay. So the podcast is called A Starstruck Podcast, and I believe he started the podcast back in like January of 2025. Don't get me to lying, but I believe that's when he started the podcast. I already put my skincare and stuff on too. I reviewed the Mochi Pore Rice Dr. G Global Pore Rice Cleanser on my Instagram. I actually have to edit that video today. But then I used the L'Oreal on my face today. I used my Belief Aqua Gel Balm Eye Gel Balm Cream Pencil, whatever you want to call it, to put underneath your eyes. And then I used the La Roche Posay Mela B3 serum for my skincare. And y'all know I love me a good kiss nail, so I did have to like replace some of my nails. And these were the nails that I used, the little short Salon acrylic French nails. They're so good. They look so natural, short, cute. But I'm gonna link everything below. Y'all know how I do. But what was I saying? But yeah, ideally that is like the main focus of the podcast, is talking about just having like raw and unfiltered conversations about resilience, recovery, personal struggles, personal transformations. And so far there has been like some really amazing former celebrity athletes and coaches, and I can't wait to see like the growth of the platform. But yeah, a lot has been discussed, and it's like I really love the fact that the platform is giving them a chance to kind of like tell their setback stories about everything from overcoming like the struggles of maybe like their careers ending, injuries, depression, financial setbacks, mental health. I mean, it's like really just raw and unfiltered conversations that I feel like we should be having. So I really like the fact that the platform, the podcast, is like giving it's highlighting that and like giving them a chance to like tell their stories and use their voices. It's real, it's honest, and I just love it because these stories share really powerful life lessons, and they're also really like uplifting stories, really relatable. I feel like anybody can relate to these stories, even if you're not an athlete. But yeah, there's a lot of uplifting stories and just like strategies and, you know, advice on how to bounce back from a setback, you know what I mean? So I'm using a lot of y'all always ask me what color I am in the MAC Studio Fix. This is the 24-hour matte foundation and oil control. I think this is a little bit darker, but this is like great for me to use in the summer. But this color is NC50. Now somebody was like, I think that color is too dark for you. That's the one that they sent me. But yeah, I usually, like when I was in high school, I used to get NC45, like that was my color. So maybe try that if you want to go like a little bit lighter. But yeah, the one I'm using now, my original color is NC45, but the one I'm using right now is NC50. So it is a little bit darker because I do like stuff to like match back to like I'm like darker on the bottom than I am on my face. So yeah, I like it to like match. So I'm gonna put a little bit. I'm gonna try not to put too much because I got on this white. But I'm gonna put a little bit on my neck. I still got that little scar on my neck. I need to put some more cocoa butter on it. But no, I'm really excited to like be a part of the team, y'all. Like I said, this podcast is like really relatable, and I think it's so important to highlight the moments of not just like, you know, being at the top and like the successful moments, but also how people can be up at one moment and then have those setbacks, or something happen in their life but still being able to like bounce back from them or bounce back from that, like, you know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a genius podcast. Okay, I'm excited to be a part of it. Honestly, I really am. I also feel like when it comes to things like this and when you have clients, that you want to make sure like you guys align like creatively, or like, you know, have like the same creative aspect, or, you know, make sure you're just doing what upholding the vision that your client is going for. And I feel like so far, like, we have a really good flow. I feel like I've been just trying to like understand like what exactly it is that he wants, and trying to like keep the page like branded and still like use his voice in some way. Like, of course I'm there that to help and like guide and to grow, but I still wanted to like, you know, him to be inserted into it, his voice to be inserted into it as well. And that was kind of like what I was telling him creatively on the phone, was I still want to make sure like, I'm inserting my creativity, but still using his voice in a way to like highlight these guests on the show. So yeah, that's just been a big thing, just like trying to align with each other, figure out what it is figure out what route it is that he's trying to take, and like understanding his vision. So for the last couple of days, it has been really, really interesting, because I've never been a social media manager before, but you guys know I always give like advice on how to grow your social media online. Of course, I have a digital marketing course that I offer to people to help grow their platforms. But as far as me taking over somebody's platform, I ain't never did that before. But I had the confidence that I could do it. I honestly, this is kind of like a dream role of mine, because I always wanted to just find like that perfect partnership, or like that perfect client where I'm able to like build up my portfolio in social media managing. So this is the perfect opportunity. Okay, so yeah, so for the past couple of days, like over the weekend, well, last week, we had just been like making sure, getting me access to like all his social media platforms, of like the podcast's socials. So at first I wasn't going to like log in to like his socials and stuff like that. I was just strictly going to use the Buffer scheduling platform to do so. But then he was like, I don't really care about that. Like, you know, I can always change my passwords, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want you to just, you know, be able to get into my analytics and all that stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. So that works. So once he kind of got like all of his social media stuff, all his passwords and stuff from the last, because he did have a previous social media manager. So once he was able to do all that, I was able to like get access to everything and kind of set everything up. Like I said, I found a social media scheduler that I felt comfortable with using, which was Buffer. So I had him go ahead and like set that up on his end, with like his email and stuff like that, so that way he still has access to that as well. And then we set up 3 platforms on there. I already have the information for the other platforms, which makes it easier because I can like put the captions within app, like Instagram, TikTok, and what's the other one? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So because on Buffer you can't really put like caption text over like a post. Like, you have to like basically do it within app, then download it, then put it on Buffer. So that's another thing that I've been just like working on, trying to figure out to make it easier for myself. But yeah, so we've been doing that and just seeing what other platforms we want to expand on for him. Oh, we ended up getting his Facebook like page set up because he did not have a Facebook like page. So that's something that I'm going to be building up as well. And I'm going to be bringing y'all along on the journey with me for that as well. Transferring over his regular, like, because he had a regular Starstruck profile page, but it was just set up like a regular, you know, account, not a like page. So I went ahead and kind of set up a Facebook like page, so that way it'll look more professional and on brand, and people can either follow the page or like it. It's not like they're adding as friend and he has to like go in and like accept everybody's request. So yeah, it just makes it, you know, for the business side of it, just more professional looking, making sure to set up that page. So it's a lot of things that have to go into the works, but we kind of got that part. Ooh, I just said anything. We kind of got that part down pat. But since his editor was away on vacay, I did edit a few clips for him last week for his last episode that he did with I don't know if you guys know him or not, but his name is Coach Bruce Pearl, okay? He actually coached at the University of Tennessee. He's coaching at Auburn right now. Yeah, he one of them ones. Okay, so we did get a chance to what am I about to say? We got a chance to create some clips, and we ran about 10 new clips for that podcast onto the page so that we can like drive more viewership and more listens to the new to that particular podcast episode with Bruce Pearl. So just trying to get into the rhythm of things, you know, but so far so good. So we use the AirSpun to set my concealer. Ooh, this stuff, I literally wasted my other, I might have to go buy another one. My what is it? I forgot. It broke though. My other little powder, it wasted all in my makeup bag, and I had to clean this makeup bag because it was literally just white with powder all over it, and I had to clean up all the products in the inside of it because it was literally whitened out. Like, I don't even know how it got to that point, but I think the powder just like crumbled up into little pieces, and then all of that white stuff powder just got all over the bag. Okay, so my only thing that I know I'm gonna need to work on, and hopefully this can like help somebody like you guys out, and hopefully this can help somebody out there who maybe is trying to like go on a similar journey or become a social media manager or just get into digital marketing. But I'm just trying to figure out how to balance scheduling things out for him, but still making sure I'm managing, I'm creating, I'm editing, and scheduling out my own content for myself, because I don't want to just, you know, got this opportunity and then like don't do anything for my brand, because, you know, I am still building up my personal brand as well. So just figuring out how to juggle the two while still being a mom, you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's like my only thing is I was like, okay, I love how I'm building up the consistency of making sure we post 3 times a day on his page. And now that I have this scheduler, I was like, okay, I need to just like start batch creating for myself, so that way I can post out and schedule my own stuff. So it's really just, you know, motivating me, you know what I'm saying? It's really just motivating me to go harder with my own stuff, as well as making sure I build up his stuff, as well as it being a new, you know, these being new platforms. I feel like when you're just starting out, frequency is what is going to be like most important in these aspects of like trying to drive an audience to your pages. So yeah. Another thing I've also noticed is it is taking me a little bit longer to write out captions, because I just want to make sure I'm writing out well thought out captions that are getting into the algorithm, like giving Meta, because you guys know everything from like Instagram, Facebook, well, the algorithms in general. I wouldn't even just say Instagram, Facebook, but just making sure I'm giving the platforms enough data to like push the content out. So that's just another thing. It's been taking me a little bit longer to come up with captions, but I have been using ChatGPT, of course, and he also recommended for me to use ChatGPT, and I was like, yes, I'm already using ChatGPT. But one thing that I also mentioned to him was I want to like make sure that I'm using ChatGPT to my advantage, but using it as an outline, but still, like I said, that's why I was asking him for like suggestions on like how I can still implement his voice, like how he would say things, using it as an outline. But I don't want it to sound robotic, like, you know what I mean? Like, I want it to sound relatable, human like, still bringing the human aspect into it, but again, using ChatGPT as an outline to create the captions while still using his voice. So we did talk about that today. He was like, use ChatGPT. I was like, oh, I'm already using ChatGPT, okay? Like, ChatGPT is my girl. But yeah, I was glad that we like kind of like align with that, like using ChatGPT. But yeah, so just pulling and like batching that, and then batching hashtags, batching trending sounds in advance, so I'll have all of that stuff on deck, and like throughout the day I'm not like trying to like search for that stuff, and I'm just able to have all of that stuff on hand already, so that way it'll make it easier for me to not only batch out his content but batching out my stuff as well. But yeah, these are all the things that I'm going to be working on, and these are some things that you can work on too if you're looking to like get in this lane in a way. These are also things that we teach inside of the Digital Wealth Academy as well, to help you for not only your own business and brand, but to help you like build up your skill sets, you know, so that way you can reel in opportunities like this. You know, you as well can get clients and opportunities like this, or become a social media manager, because as more businesses start to get created, and a lot of people are trying to start businesses now, especially because just the job market that we're in, as more people start to create businesses, a lot of people are going to notice, okay, if I want to get more people into my business, if I want to make more sales, if I want to get more clients, like at some point I'm going to have to go digital as well as physical. So they're going to need some type of social media strategy, because a lot of people are online nowadays. That's just where the kids are at. That's where most people are at. We all have our phones in our hands and things of that sort. So at some point they're going to want some type of social media strategy. And yeah, building up your skill set is important, because that's how you become an asset for businesses and brands, even personal brands, influencers who are needing help in that sphere, but they don't really have a lot of time because they're trying to focus on running their business. They don't want to do the social media stuff, or they may not just be like savvy or have, like I said, the skill set to be able to do that. So that's why you're gonna build up these skills so you can do it for them. I also love that this is like in the sports category, and that is also a podcast, so it's podcast marketing, because this gives me the ability to like challenge myself. Of course, you guys know I don't have a podcast yet, but it's so crazy because I was just literally talking to one of my friends, and they were like, hey, you should like start a podcast, and I was like, I don't know, but then I was like, maybe I should, but it's something I might consider. But now that I'm kind of like in this lane, and I'm like getting to like see the behind the scenes of like, you know, getting clips and coming up with different hashtags, especially in the sports category, because this is something that is like way out of my norm. Like y'all know I don't do like sports content. Like I'm not in that realm. I'm a fashion girly, okay? I'm a girly girl, okay? But I love sports, and I love watching podcasts. Like that's like my thing. I love sports. I love watching podcasts, and it is something that I always wanted to tap into. And my dad used to tell me this all the time. He was like, you should, you know, look into like doing something in sports, and I'm like, nah. But now that this opportunity is here, I'm like really excited, because like I said, I get to hear some really inspiring stories from former athletes, celebrity athletes, and coaches, and it's just really cool. I'm just super inspired by it, especially to, you know, to just hear their like resilient stories on how they like came back from things that they went through in life. It's just really inspiring. So what was I about to show you now? Okay, so now that we have the Bruce Pearl episode, like now that it's like up and all the clips are kind of like up and scheduled, this week we're actually promoting Marion freaking Jones, y'all. I don't know if y'all know her. She's a freaking Olympic legend, okay? Yeah, we're promoting her for the next podcast episode, which it's probably gonna be out by the time y'all see this video. It's coming out July the 10th, but we're promoting her, and I was just blown a freaking away. I just still can't believe it. Like, I'm like, this is insane. But yeah, we scheduled out a post. Her first post, I had to make sure it was approved by her team, and get all like her active social media handles, and make sure I like tagged and collaborated with her on Instagram. So it was just really cool. It's just really cool. Like, I'm excited. I honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't get to listen. I've been pulling clips for her podcast because we have like different timestamps. I haven't had a chance to like sit down and listen to the entire podcast, so I'll probably listen to the whole thing sometime tonight or tomorrow. I do want to go back and listen to her whole thing. I listened to half of it today because I had to pull some clips. But y'all, her story is insane, but like her setback, I mean her resilient story, like how she overcame it, I'm just excited to like hear more about it. But yeah, like her story and like what she went through, like it might be something that a lot of people don't even know about. So that's why I'm glad like she's getting a chance to like tell her story. And like I just love the fact that with this podcast, like we don't really want to highlight just the lows. Like it's really like highlighting them in a positive aspect and like making it inspiring for other people as well. So I really like that aspect, because you know, a lot of things I don't like the negativity online. So the fact that we're taking their stories and like highlighting them in like a positive way, I like that, you know. I really like that. I always fear these little eyelash curlers. I'm trying to make sure I curl it good before I put on this what is this? The Serum eyelash serum. Ooh, I just burped, because last time y'all was like, curl your eyelashes, curl your eyelashes. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm freaking curling my eyelashes. Okay, I just gotta make sure I curl them good. So yeah, did I tell you Zahara was asleep? Yeah, she's asleep right now. So yeah, but anyways, we are going to push out probably like a couple more reels for Miriam this week. We were pushing for 3 a day. So far we only put 1 out today, just to like really focus on the one that we pushed out for her today. But I'm hoping to push for like 3 a day, or at least 2 a day, because like I said, we want to make sure that we're building up the frequency of the posts to build up his platforms. So 3 a day, 2 a day across all platforms. Y'all know how some people even say like every hour, okay? And I believe it. I literally believe it. Like I feel like it's so important to like just keep posting. So yeah, but I'm so excited. I'm not even gonna hold y'all today. No, yesterday when I had to like post Bruce's thing, I was shaking. But today when I had to post Marion's post, y'all, I was literally shaking in my freaking boots. I was shaking in my boots, okay? I never been so nervous to post a post in my life. And it wasn't even on my page. It's just the fact that, you know, I'm creating the post. I just like want to make sure everything is, you know, right, professional, on point. Like I don't want to just mess nothing up. So I was nervous, I ain't gonna lie. But now that I have some of the other clips that were sent over, I do have to edit some clips down today and add an outro to the clips that his editor kind of wasn't able to do, because he's literally in the middle of his wedding. Like, so I'm going to actually kind of just like add what he didn't get a chance to do, schedule them out, make all of the captions and the I might show y'all like a little of me doing that. But I gotta get ready, because I still want to film a outfit of the day for my Instagram today. So yeah, I'm gonna plan out some captions, do my outfit of the day. I already kind of posted. I already kind of filmed a little bit earlier today, but I'm gonna see what else I can film for myself and get out of the way in the midst of me planning out captions, grabbing hashtags for all the rest of the reels for the week, and editing. And I still have a bunch of footage that I need to edit for myself too, because yeah, I got a lot of stuff that I haven't. I keep opening this. I feel like I can get my under eye too. Yeah, I still got a lot of videos that I haven't had a chance to fully edit and get up on my channel for my long form content. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I really just wanted to come on here and touch base with y'all and like tell y'all about the new journey that I'm on, and take y'all along with me on this new journey as a social media manager for a Starstruck podcast. I'm really excited, y'all. Y'all will never believe who the next guest is on the podcast. It's actually insane, okay? But shh, I can't tell y'all that yet. So y'all will know soon.